Go nice and slow, and I'll explain everything. And then we'll talk about the vocabulary and the travel inside Greece. Hello! Can I have your student card? Okay, so this is exploring Greece, okay? So have you seen a lot of houses and stuff that use this blue and white?
Yes.
If you go to Ida, right?
Yes.
The Ida World, the amusement park uses the Greece style. Okay, a lot of B&Bs or hostels in Kending also use this style. Okay, so it's a very popular style. So this is one of the very famous things in Greece that we all remember. Oh, that's Greece, right? We see these colors and we know it's Greece. Okay. Okay, so Greece is the birthplace of Western civilization. The Olympic Games began in Greece. Democracy and modern medicine got their start in Greece too. Many of the words you'll read in this article come from the Greek language. A trip to Greece is a trip into centuries past. You'll have your fill of ancient art, architecture, history, and more. But Greece isn't just museums and historic sites. It's a place for fun and great food too. Okay, so Greece is a very, 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 very old country. Right? It has a lot of history. There are a lot of movies that were made about Greece, a lot of books that were written about Greece. It's the start of Western medicine. Okay, a lot of Western ideas and technology all started in Greece. The Olympic Games, do you know Olympic? Okay, they started in Greece. So many things that we use today, many ways we learn today, even in school, are from Greece, ancient Greece, which means very old time ago. Okay, so we're going to start in Athens. Athens is the capital city of Greece, and it's the biggest city. And there's a lot of history, and it's a very beautiful place. So it says, start your journey in Athens, Greece's capital and largest city. Here you'll see photo-famous sites like the Acropolis and the Theater of Dionysus. You can see more of Greece's preserved history at the National Archaeological Museum. From Athens, you can also go on several fun day trips. Take a tour to Delphi or spend the day island hopping on a cruise. And be sure to visit one of Athens' interesting markets, such as Monastiraki Flea Market. Okay, so Athens is the biggest city. There are many, many, many things to do there. Here, if you look at this picture, I don't know if you can see, this is called the Acropolis. Okay, and it's a very, very old temple, okay, where they worshipped the gods and goddesses of ancient Greece. So have you ever heard of like Zeus, the god of thunder, Poseidon, the god of the sea? Okay, they all come from Greece. And so that was a temple made for them where people would worship them. But now it's just a beautiful place. They also have the Theater of Dionysus. Dionysus was the god of dance, song, and wine, drinking wine. Okay, so they made a theater, a place where you can sing and dance just for him, or in honor of him. So it's a very beautiful area. There's also a museum where you can see old bowls and weapons and clothing and jewelry from a long time ago in Greece. Kind of like the National Palace Museum in Taiwan, right in close to Yangmingshan, right? The National Palace Museum. What is it called? I forget the Chinese name, but it's in Shilin, that area. Okay.
Google.
Oh yes, Google. Okay. Yes. So that's a museum where you can see old jewelry, bowls and cups and stuff. So this museum there is almost the same thing, but it has Greek art and anything. They said there's even a cruise. So it's a big boat that you can take onto the ocean and see the side of Greece. If you look at some of the buildings in Greece, they're often on the side, very close to the ocean. So it's a very beautiful area. Okay, so here are some more things you can do in Greece. Greece is not a small country, so it may be hard to decide what to do during your stay. Here are a few suggestions for some fun and popular activities. You can go to the beach. Greece has more than 15,000 kilometers of coastline in total. There are plenty of beautiful white sand beaches with clear blue water to choose from. Okay, so because Greece, one side is next to the ocean, they have very beautiful white sand beaches and very clear water, so you can see to the bottom and see a lot of fish, maybe even dolphins. Okay, so it's a very beautiful area. Or you could go to a show. Greece is famous for its traditional theater, song, and dance. Dora Strato Dance Theater is a living museum that sits on the hill opposite the Acropolis. They put on daily performances during the summer in their garden theater. Okay, so you can go see a dance or song or acting show that's in a very traditional style, meaning it's a very old style of dance, old type of song, so it's very traditional. And they probably were very old style clothes too, from long before. Or you can return to nature. If you go at the right time of year, you can help with the olive harvest. Get your hands dirty and learn about the production of this famous Greek food. Okay, so Greece has a very famous food called olives. Okay, they grow on trees and they can be black or green, and they're about this big. Okay, they're about this big, and the inside, I think the middle is orange. Okay, and you might have eaten it on a pizza, or maybe a salad, or a sandwich. Okay, so it's black and it's about this big, black or green. Okay, some people use it in a martini, which is a type of alcohol. They put an olive in there. Okay, so it's a very famous food from Greece, and they use it to make olive oil for cooking. Okay, so you can go there and help them pick the olives during harvest time. So that would be a very cool experience. Okay, and then the food. Okay, their food is really tasty. I love Greek food. In the US, my family every week, maybe every Sunday, would go to a Greek restaurant and eat traditional Greek food. Oh, so good. Not very healthy, but it's really good. Okay. So here's what they said. Experience Greek hospitality for yourself and skip the big city hotels. Instead, book your stay at a smaller location. Guest houses and B&Bs are often less expensive and just as nice. You'll get to know the owners and the neighborhood quickly. Places like these will bring you closer to the Greek community, and you'll save a lot of money. Okay, so they said don't stay at a hotel. Stay at maybe a hostel or a small B&B or maybe somebody's house. You'll feel very close to the Greek culture. Okay? So it's a very unique experience. Sometimes we stay at hotels and they're very fancy and really expensive, but we don't get that we're on vacation feeling. Okay? So if you stay at a hostel, a B&B, or a person's house, you feel closer to Greece. Don't forget to clean your plate. Greek food is full of flavor and it's healthy. Greece is known for its delicious olives, cheeses, and honey, to name only a few. Order signature dishes like moussaka and spanakopita pita with a Greek salad topped with fresh tomatoes and feta. Then try some baklava for dessert. You'll probably want seconds of everything. Okay, so I've eaten, this is my favorite, this one in the middle. This is called spanakopita. Okay, so it's like a pastry, okay, very fluffy, and a little oil on top. And then inside is this white cheese and spinach, which is like a type of green vegetable that they put inside and they cook. It's so good. Very good. You can keep eating and eating and eating. Okay? And this is baklava. Baklava is a sweet dessert. It has honey, I think some nuts, and maybe brown sugar. Okay, so this is really good too. So, if you can find a Greek restaurant in Taipei, you should really try their food. It's very good. I could go there every day. I love their food. Okay, so art, history, nature, and food. Greece has it all. You'll leave this beautiful and ancient country with lots of good memories. Make sure to send some postcards before you leave. Your friends will want to hear all about your trip. So if you go to Greece, there's so many things you can do. And I would go for the food and because it's such a beautiful country. I've seen other people go to Greece and the pictures they take are so beautiful. So it would be a very romantic place to go. If you bring your boyfriend or later maybe your husband after maybe 10 years, okay? So very beautiful place. Okay, let's see here. So when you go to another country, what do you like to do? Do you like to go to museums? Do you like to go bike riding? Do you like to take pictures? What are some of your favorite things to do when you go on vacation? What do you like to do? Eat food, maybe? Eat their food? Yes? Or maybe go shopping, buy clothes or jewelry. I know a lot of people like the LV bags and Coach. For me, it's like food. I like food. And I like taking pictures too. I take way too many pictures. So those are all things you can do when you're on vacation. But I think it's most important to remember not to spend too much money and to have fun. So let's look at the vocabulary. Olympic Games. Okay, so are the Olympic Games now like before? No, they're very, very, very different. The Olympic Games in Greece were very scary. Okay, people bled a lot, there was a lot of punching, okay? A lot of people would trip other people. It was about strength. Women were not allowed in the Olympic Games in Greece until much later. So at first, it was just really big and strong men. And they would do running, like the marathon, okay, the marathon, or a relay race, or they would do maybe weightlifting, I'm not sure, maybe sword fighting, okay. I'm not sure what the Olympic Games were like, but I know that they created the marathon. That was one of the things they created. Democracy is something the Greeks created. Okay, democracy is a type of government where the people can vote. Okay, so in Taiwan, can you vote for your president? So that's democracy. In the U.S., we did not want a king. We wanted a president. We wanted the people to vote for the leader. Okay, that's democracy. Ancient. Ancient means very, very old. Maybe thousands of years ago. Okay, so anything from 10,000 years ago is ancient. Architecture. Okay, that's buildings. Okay, so if you look in the back here, we have all different types of architecture. Maybe some of the famous ones we know are the Eiffel Tower in Paris, okay? Or maybe Dubai has very famous architecture. Or the Great Wall of China, okay, the Long Wall of China. Okay, that's also a piece of architecture. Let's see, what else? Taipei 101 is a very beautiful piece of architecture. Okay, it's a building. It was designed by somebody. A museum is a place where you can see things that are very old and that are kept so they don't break apart or fall apart, or that we can still see them from history. So in Taiwan, you have Gugong. In the USA, you have the Natural History Museum. Many, many museums all over the world. In Paris, the Louvre is very famous. Okay, so that's the art history or art museum. Preserved means to keep something so it doesn't fall apart. Okay, so sometimes we preserve vegetables and fruit or meat by adding salt or water and putting it in a jar. Okay, that's preserved. Maybe scientists, they preserve maybe baby animals that have died, or human heads and stuff. They preserve them for science to study. We preserve history, so buildings, art, okay, even clothing, we try to preserve so we can put it in the museum. Cruise is a big, big boat, okay, that takes you to see different places, okay, and usually it has maybe 5 or 6 levels, and there's restaurants, there's activities, there's swimming pools, there's rooms to sleep, okay, so that's a cruise. For example, one year, my family and I, we took a cruise to Alaska. So we went from California, up Canada, over to Alaska, and we stopped at many different places. And we slept and ate on the cruise boat, and it was very cool. A flea market. A flea market is a market where you can buy things that people have made or grown themselves. So maybe a farmer, he grew his vegetables and he wants to sell them. Or maybe a grandmother, she made a beautiful blanket and she wants to sell the blanket. And it's usually a little cheaper than a normal market or a grocery store. So flea markets are very nice. Coastline. Okay, so Greece has 15,000 kilometers, km, of coastline. That's where the land meets the water, the ocean. Okay, so the U.S. has 2 coastlines, the East Coast and the West Coast, right? Okay, and they're very, very far apart. You have to drive maybe 10 days, I think, if you want to get to the other side. But in Taiwan, it's all coastline, right? Because you're an island. Theater. Okay, this is a place where you go to see a performance. Maybe a singer or a dance company, or maybe acting, like a drama, okay, or a play. You go to a theater to see. A garden. Okay, a garden is a place where you grow flowers and trees and other plants. Maybe you have a beautiful little waterfall or river, okay? I guess you could say here at CUT, there's a small garden up that way, I think. Just a very small garden. It's more natural, okay, a natural garden. All right, like I said, an olive, okay, an olive is the little kind of thing, black or green, that grows on trees, and you can pick and make olive oil from, and it's very healthy to eat. Harvest is when a fruit or a vegetable is ready to be picked for the winter. Okay? So you harvest apples, you can even say you harvest fish, okay, when the fish are big enough to bring in and sell. Hospitality is how you treat your guests. Okay, so the people that come visit you, how do you treat them? Do you help them take their shoes and their coat and say, oh, here's your room, do you need anything to drink? Okay, that's hospitality, how you treat your guests. Signature means 2 things. One is your signing, you sign your name. The second is traditional. Okay, it means popular, traditional, very normal in that area. So signature foods, signature buildings, maybe signature clothing. Okay, very traditional, popular, or normal for that area. Okay, so that's our vocabulary. Okay, so let's look back to Greece. So really, they only talked about one city in Greece because there's so many things to do in Greece, and it would take way too long to go to every city. So they said stay in Athens, which is the capital city and the biggest city. So you can go see the Acropolis, which, like I said, is the temple for the Greek gods and goddesses where they worshipped before. Now it's starting to fall apart, so it might not be there for very long. The Theater of Dionysus, okay, remember, where you can see dance, and song, and acting shows, okay, it's a theater. The National Archaeological Museum is a museum to see things that scientists and researchers have dug up from the ground in Greece, or maybe preserved from history. The Monastiraki Flea Market is a famous place to get traditional clothes and food, and maybe even special gifts for other people. And then you have the Dorostretto Dance Theater, which is a famous place to see traditional dance. Alright, so that is